Hello there, and welcome. It's been raining the whole morning, and I've been driving around hoping to find something. I was hoping that when the rain starts to lighten up a bit, that we'll get some more dramatic clouds, but it's just been flat grey the whole morning, so it's been completely uninteresting, extremely boring. But I was driving at the road just down here and I saw this stream. I stopped the car, backed up and just walked in here. And I found a nice little waterfall here. I've just framed it up in a nice way where it's kind of flowing through the frame and framed it up in a nice way basically. The thing that I'm working on right now is shutter speed and having enough depth of field. I'm at 35 millimeters and I'm currently at f16. It gives me 1 second shutter. I'm thinking I would like something a little bit faster as well, because it's kind of a lot of water that is flowing and a little bit a little bit shorter shutter speed would get or give me a little bit more interest in the water. And the way that I'm going to use it is basically that I'm going to use the long exposure, meaning the one on 1 second, as a base layer, and then I'm just going to paint in a little bit of interest into the more hectic areas of the water where most water is flowing. So a faster shutter speed for those areas, just paint it in a little bit to give a little bit more texture into those areas while still retaining the smoothness of the long exposure. So not painting it in at a full 100% opacity, but perhaps between 20 and 50, I think. And I'm just working it all up here. It might be that the final image is nothing like what I'm saying, but that's the way that I'm imagining it. I like the shutter speed down here when the water is leaving the frame. I like to have a long shutter speed there because it's creating long lines, basically long lines creating more interest in the frame. When you want fast shutter speed, two options: aperture or ISO. And I'm going to go with aperture here, since the interesting part, or the part that I want to retain water interest in, isn't furthest away and it isn't the closest to the camera. It's basically in the middle of the frame. So I can reduce my depth of field while still retaining the sharpness in the areas that I want. I'm going to do one for every stop of exposure difference and shutter speed, and then I can just choose later. So one of 5/6 as well, 1/8 of a second. And I'm just going to do one really fast one as well. 1/30th of a second, ISO 400, 5.6. Sure. So yeah, that's that image done. I like these small streams. They give a more interesting to photograph than the big waterfalls and the big rivers, since the water is more, there's more turmoil in the water, if that's the right way to put it. More things happening and more bends and rocks with nice moss and leaves and everything. everything's closer, so it becomes a nicer scene without having to have the big grand vistas to put everything into a nice place. I like that. But yeah, I'm gonna go back to the car and see if we can find something else, but I'm not all that sure. We're getting blue skies coming behind us, so we're gonna go from completely flat gray to completely blue skies with no contrast in between, so that is a little bit boring, I guess. But can't get perfect conditions every day. We're at a natural reserve called Skärbo, and the lake behind me here is what I had in mind, but I don't know. I thought that maybe we would get some contrasty clouds, but obviously we're not getting anything. It's just so flat and grey, which is boring. So I'm just gonna see if I can find something in the forest here, else I'm gonna just call it actually. So I'm not really feeling that inspired at the moment. Yeah, but I'm gonna wander around a little bit. Maybe I can find something here in the forest or something else, but as I said, not really feeling that inspired today. Rain, first rain, then flat grey clouds. Just a disappointment, basically. I might have found something a little bit. Well, yeah, I might have found something. I'm at a slope that is kind of steep, around 45 degrees perhaps, so pretty steep. But it has a nice oh, why do I always forget what those trees are called? The ones behind me. We have pines, and then we have conifers. Are that correct? Oh, those conifers? Anyway, we have a couple of trees behind me here, and I saw a way that I could be able to frame them in a nice way, and since we have the slope here and everything, it could be an interesting composition, an interesting scene, hopefully. So I'm going to try to see if I can frame it up in somewhat of a nice way, and we'll see if we can get away with something. Thing is, I want to be a little bit, or quite a bit back, so that I can zoom in a little bit further in order to compress the scene a little bit more, not include as much around the trees. We have a old stump standing there, and a tree over there, and then most of the trees are kind of separated from this location. So by moving a little bit further back, I can reduce the amount of sky, I can reduce what I get to the sides, and I can also reduce what I have here in the foreground, so I don't include this tree, for example. Otherwise I would have to stand in front of it, but yeah, I want to be a little bit further back. As I said, it's a little bit precarious standing here. Water drops on the lens. I framed up the composition and it's looking alright. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I'm gonna screw on a polarizer. Just to try to remove a little bit of the glare and perhaps get a little bit more interest or something into the scene. Yeah, so it's polarized. I am shooting it at I think I'm actually gonna shoot it at f11 and focus stack it. So, I have a little bit of wind coming in now, so I'm gonna have to wait for that to dissipate, to disappear, to calm down. I don't really want the branches to be moving and getting quite a long shutter speed here at 2 seconds. So it needs to be still. And just because I need it to be still, it won't be still. It's been still most of the morning, and I guess that time is over. Let's talk a little bit about the composition while we wait for the wind. Or let's take an image. Now it seems to be pretty still. Please stay still. 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 No, not still. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the composition. So the slope, basically creates a line going diagonally through the frame, since it's such a steep slope, and the top part is almost up at the top left corner, and the bottom part is at the bottom right corner. So it's a nice diagonal line through the frame. And then we have light on the bottom diagonal part, and inside the forest we're not getting as much light shining, and that's going to add a little bit more interest into the scene as well. Even though it's a flat sky, the opening I have above me here is shining down light where there aren't any branches, and under the branches it's basically just more shade. So it isn't really directional, but a little bit, I guess. It adds more interest at least. Water drops. Can't it just be still for a little while? But this is the last picture I'm going to take today. No. Die down. Still. Hold it. Stay still. Just stay still. Stay still now. One more for luck. Let's see, did I get it there? Is it sharp? Is it sharp? Is the branch sharp? It's a little bit moving. But that frame looks pretty good actually. Yeah. That looks alright. We have sharpness in the background. It isn't as important in the background. In the foreground we're lacking a little bit, so I'm just gonna refocus here in the foreground, take a frame there, and then we're basically going to be done. The good thing about this scene is that the focus plane, everything that is close, and everything that is far behind is far behind. Nothing is overlapping within the scene, so it's very easy to just paint it in instead of having to rely on Photoshop's stacking algorithms, which aren't that good really, honestly. Yeah, one tip when focus stacking and when you're focus stacking and you're focusing within the scene is to actually look in the scene at what depth different things are, and not just on the back of the screen on the camera, since the camera is flat, so you can't really see the depth between certain details. But when you're looking at it, the scene, with your eyes, you can see where certain things are, so you know exactly where you need to focus in order to get different planes in focus. So that's a tip for today. It helps a lot with getting everything that you want in focus when focus stacking. But that is this scene done. A little bit of light painting and that's it. So, as I said, this is it for today. Not a very inspiring day this, but at least I got something done, so I'm pretty satisfied. Now I'm just gonna go out hiking with my dog, enjoy nature, and enjoy nature alone with my dog and me wife. Yeah. Anyway, if you've enjoyed